this helps you. It's not really a word, but it's just words of advice from experience and wisdom. And one thing I will never in my entire life let anybody ever do or manipulate me into doing is I will never let anybody manipulate me into shutting out God's voice ever again. Ever again. Like many of us who have the gift to hear in the spirit, right? The more you acknowledge your gift and the more you actually listen and you are receptive to when God is speaking, the more you're going to hear him. But every time you hear something from God and then you kind of like second guess it or you just shut it out or you ignore it, the less you're going to hear because you're not receptive, right? You're not receptive. And I've been hearing since I was a little girl. Like I've been hearing in the spirit. Again, I didn't know God's voice specifically until I learned how to discern God's voice in like 2016 going into 2017. But I always remembered hearing this same voice majority of my life, even when I was a child, right? I would hear this voice say, "Don't cry. It's going to be okay." Like things like that. And I was always shutting the voice out because I was so scared. Okay? I was so scared and I would think that something was wrong with me. Now, in 2016, when my gifts started to like get really heightened and really strong after years of ignoring it, years of running away like Jonah, my hearing in the spirit was like turned up to such a high level to the point where I was able to hear everything, including conversations that were going on behind my back. It's like God was allowing me to hear everything. And it got to the point where I was no longer able to shut it out, right? When I answered the call and decided to take my walk with God seriously, and I told God, I'm willing to serve you and I'm willing to do whatever it is that you need me to do that is according to your will and according for the calling upon my life. And the Lord required that, I deliver certain prophetic words. And the thing about prophetic words is like we don't choose what we want to see. It's like we don't choose what we want to see, nor do we choose what we want to hear. When you accept that calling and you tell God you're willing to help serve the body of Christ, you're willing to be a servant to his children, and you're willing to serve, there's no limits. There's no limits. Like if you're willing to answer when God is speaking to you and you're willing to do something, God is going to use you. But the more and more you shut God out, or the more and more you have fear, or the more and more you second guess, or you care about what people think and you care about the opinions of others, the less you're going to hear and the less you're going to be used, right? Because God is not going to use you if you're not going to be obedient and you're not going to do what he needs you to do. If you're not going to do it, he's going to give the message to someone else, or he's going to have someone else do what you're not willing to do, right? So, I'm saying this for many of you guys who hear God's voice, but you may not hear all the time. But when you do hear it, it's almost like you second guess it, or you kind of like ignore it, or you don't act on what he's telling you to act on like right away. Like you don't move when he tells you to move. That is disobedient. And when you are disobedient, the less instructions you're going to receive. Because if you're not even complying to the little bit of instructions that he's giving you, why would he give you more? See, in Luke talks about God giving you something. And if you are to be trusted with a little, you can be trusted with much. And to whom much is given, much is required. And that is the same thing when it comes to your prophetic gifts, whether you hear, whether you see, whether you have discernment to feel. Many of us, we have all the gifts. But if God is giving you these gifts and you're not even using a little bit of it because you're too scared, or because you are afraid of the opinions of others, or because you don't want to be judged or persecuted, guess what? God's not going to give you more on your plate, because the little bit that he's giving you, you're not even obedient with that little bit. And there was a time where I shut out a lot of the prophetic messages that I was getting, because I did not like the persecution I was going through. I didn't like the judgment, and because people didn't understand my gifts to hear in the spirit. They didn't understand that I've been gifted since I was a little girl. So this is not something that just happened. This is something that I'm very well aware of, and I've been operating through my whole entire life. So because people didn't understand that, I just did not want to continue. I told God, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do this, because I don't like the persecution. I don't like feeling this way. And there was times where God would say things like little sentences, little words here and there, and I knew that they were not for me. I knew they were not for me. I knew it was for other people. But there was this like fear of being judged, but there was also this fear of, okay, I want to confirm it 10 times before I post it, because I just don't want to be wrong, or I don't want to lead anyone astray. Even though I know for a fact I was hearing it, I would make excuses just to not post because I was afraid. Okay, I'm being real. I was so afraid. And I didn't like the fact that even people that claim to love God were coming for me. I hated that so much, because I'm like, God, like, these people are supposed to be, you know, we're supposed to love each other. Like, what is going on? I didn't like that. And there was a time where I felt like I wasn't being defended by God, because I'm like, God, you're telling me to do this, yet these people are coming for me, and they keep coming, and you're not saying anything about it. And that's what made me pull away a lot. But he did do something about it. He did do something about it. It's just, it wasn't on my timing. It was on God's timing when things were done. But I'm here to tell you that the more you ignore, the more you push away whatever he's telling you, the more you're not obedient to what he's telling you to do, the less he's going to give you. The less assignments, the less instructions you're going to receive. I've been so obedient. Um, for the last 2 months, I've been just really just getting back on track with um, being receptive to hearing him, to the point where I don't even wear my headphones anymore when I'm cleaning, when I'm cooking. And, and I did for a while to kind of block out everything. But I stopped because I noticed that, like, whenever I'm doing tasks, God would randomly just say sentences. Like yesterday, I was whipping up something, you know, and I wasn't cooking pasta, but he said something about pasta, and I knew right away. I even felt it in my spirit. I knew it was an urgent word for someone. And even like packing orders, I would listen to things on my headphones, or I listen to like things on my phone just to block out things. And I haven't been doing that, and I noticed the more receptive I've been, the more God has been speaking. And usually I hear God at night when I'm sleeping, because there's nothing I can use to block out anything in the spiritual realm when I'm sleeping, right? But in the daytime, I would usually have music playing or something playing, because I was just really exhausted and tired of the persecution. But now I notice, like, I haven't been listening to music a lot. I haven't been using my headphones a lot, and God has been speaking a lot more, and I've been a lot more obedient, right? So I'm just saying this to tell you guys that the more you are receptive to God, and the more you are obedient, and the more, yeah, you will receive so much more from God. Okay, you will receive so much more. So if God tells you to do something, move. Don't sit there and just wait. Just move. Just keep going. Okay. So God has been really teaching me a lot about even persecution, and not really caring, and learning how to move through my gifts and operate through my gifts unapologetically. And ever since I've been doing that, I feel so much more free. I feel so much more free, and I feel so much more content. So I'm just here to share that with you guys, anyone that's going through something similar. One of the analogies that God was giving me when we talked about persecution, was he was telling me, like, basically there's people that show up every day to work for man. They go to their career, they go to their job, and they show up every day to work for man, to build someone else's business, to build someone else's finances up. But we those who are anointed, those who are chosen, those who are prophetic, those who are prophets, like we have access to God and He blessed us with these gifts, yet many of us choose not to show up. If many of us can be loyal and show up for man at our workplace, we should be able to show up for God more. And when God explained that to me, I was like, God, I answered the call. I said yes. And because I said yes, I have to be loyal to my word and what I said. Many people, many prophetics, many anointeds are so loyal to man. They're loyal to their partner, or they're loyal to their ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. They're loyal to their parents. They're loyal to their employer. They show up for work every day. Yet many of us are not showing up when God tells us we need to show up and we need to do things that He needs us to do. We have to remember that God is everyone to us. He is our mother, He is our father, He is our best friend. He is our employer as well. He is our lawyer. He is everything to us. And if we are loyal to man and we are loyal to our employers and we are loyal to people, we have to be more loyal to God. And that includes using your prophetic gifts and doing whatever He told you to do. Okay? So I want to share this with someone. I don't know who needs to hear these words of advice. Also, I have a masterclass that I'm going to be hosting. It's about persecution and how to fight through persecution and how to operate through your gifts despite persecution. And because I've learned a lot over the years. I look forward to that. It's going to actually happen in June, but I'll let you guys know more details about it later on, okay? I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.